welcome back to my channel. My name is Reza and today I am filming 5 things that I loved in the month of February. If you're interested to see what I enjoyed this month, please keep on watching. The first thing I loved this month is a book called Everybody Always by Bob Goff. I discovered Bob Goff on a podcast that I actually featured on my first favorites video, so go check that one out. And I love the way Bob Goff spoke about life and spoke about love and just who he was, how interactive he was on the podcast. And so when I saw that this book was on sale at Coombe Books, I was like, I'm gonna grab it. And I was praying and hoping that it was gonna be a good read, that I was gonna learn a lot, that it was just gonna pour over me. And honestly, when I started reading this book, I could not put it down. It was one of those things that it just hugs you. It seems so strange, but from the first page you're like, this is what I needed to hear. This is a story that I needed to discover. In the second chapter I had already bawled my eyes out because he tells you stories about people in his personal life and he really goes in detail about these people. And the whole point of the story is that we need to love more. We need to love our neighbors, we need to love one another wholeheartedly without any strings, and we need to love so much that it changes people's lives. What I also enjoyed about this book is that it is honest, it's truthful, it is real stories, real people, real feelings, and Bob Goff, he just writes it so beautifully. I actually bought another copy and I'm going to send it to my mom because I think she'll love this and it's definitely something she needs to read. At one point Bob decides that he wants to learn how to be more patient, so he carries a bucket around, a literal bucket, everywhere he goes, on planes, in the church, in the car where he's with, everywhere he goes he carries this bucket, and every time he looks at it it's to remind him to be more patient. And so one day he's in a real rush to drop the car off at the airport and to get on a flight, and he's stuck in this lane that just won't go quick enough, and he's ready, by the time he gets to the front, he's ready to just straight up like go off on this guy. And instead of doing that, he looks over and sees the bucket and realizes that he needs to be patient in the situation. So he turns to the parking attendant and he says, "Thank you so much, you were awesome, the car was awesome, the service was awesome," gives the key and like starts running to get his flight. He's obviously missed his flight by then, but he's still in a rush to get there. All of a sudden he hears someone calling his name. He turns around and there's this guy, and the guy says, "Hey Bob, your sermon this morning at church was incredible." And Bob is like kind of taken aback because he's like, whoa, because we don't realize who's watching us and whose lives are making an impact. And if he had just gone off on that guy, the situation would have been completely different. So it was just a nice reminder to remember to always be the same person everywhere. The stories in here are just so good, so good. Like, they give you goosebumps, they're so beautiful. So check this one out if you want to love more. The second book I read a lot of books in the month of February, but the second book I read is The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. She's also the author of Everything Everything. I went for a coffee this month with one of my teens from church, and we had Nutella cake, a Nutella cupcake, a Nutella cheesecake. It was so delicious. And we were chatting and I'd asked her if she had any book recommendations, and this was the first one that she's like, "You would love this. Read it, check it out." And I was like, okay, I will. And I tried to get a library card, but it wasn't going to come in time, and so I just went and I bought the book. This has been the best purchase of the entire month, maybe even better than Everybody Always, but it's been such a good purchase. This book gave me so many feels. It gave me, I don't know how to explain it, but I had goosebumps throughout the book. I was rooting for them. I was just trying to get to the end to see what was going to happen. But most importantly, I love the fact that Nicola had combined these two teenagers' lives as well as the universe and made this one amazing book. At first it looks like it's going to be a love story, but it's so much more than that, you know. It's a story about friendship, a story about regret, a story about the universe working, and how everyone we touch and interact with is also human, also has a life, you know, and is also dealing with something. And so the small things we do and the small things we say make a difference and actually impact those around us. And it was a nice idea just to remember that we're not alone in this universe, that when we do something, it affects other people around us. It's a beautiful book. There's also another one that I told like all of my friends, like everyone who would listen, I told them about The Sun Is Also a Star. I just think everyone should read it, and it's a young adult book, so it's a very easy read. One of my favorite parts of the book is definitely when the universe comes in. It's a really good book. I feel like I can't say enough about it because it'll change your life. It'll definitely change your perspective, at least on life. So I love this. Check it out if you're interested. The third thing that I did not read this month, but has still been on my mind non-stop this whole February, is The Subtle Art of Not Giving Up by Manson. Such a good book. This orange is like a vibe. I've recommended this book to everyone who's willing to listen. Literally everyone. I will approach you and I'll just say, hey, have you read this book? You should read this book. It is so good. It's a, I wouldn't say a self-help book, but it helps you. It helps you so much. It's an easy read for sure. It's filled with so much wisdom. Manson chats to you in such a, I feel like I'm in a coffee shop and my friend is just giving me advice. You know, when you're sitting there and it's just like, whoa, this person knows what he's talking about. That's definitely what I got from this book. I love the fact that it challenges us on a lot of things that we're used to just accepting or used to just doing in our lives, like feeling like we always have to be happy or feeling like we always have to be positive about a situation. I love the fact that he said that it's okay to wallow and to be for a while and to be like upset and angry. It's okay for things not to be positive all the time. He says in those moments where we accept that, it's actually quite good. I love that. The last chapter actually made me cry, which I didn't expect from this book at all, to cry. But the last chapter made me bawl my eyes out. I was like literally like, you know, I was crying because it was just so beautiful. The next thing is something quite different to books, and it's a beauty favorite. At the beginning of February, I actually got eyelash extensions for the first time, and surprisingly, although I had eyelash extensions, I didn't take half as many or any photos this month. I just wasn't feeling it. But what I loved about the eyelash extensions was I woke up and I didn't have to worry about doing my makeup. I think the whole most of the month of February I didn't wear any makeup. I would just wake up, do my skincare, put some oils on and leave. I didn't feel like I needed to put mascara on or put blush on or anything like that, which is strange because I was just eyelash extensions, and yet I felt so confident. I felt like I could, I was just, you know, rocking. But I did feel like my eyelashes entered the room way before I did because so many people noticed it, and a lot of people said it looked really nice. I enjoyed the experience. It did. I don't think I necessarily went to the right person for the eyelash extension, so I will be trying someone different. But it just was a nice confidence boost, and it was just easy, and I loved it. This is my fifth favorite of the month. It is a film camera. It is a Pentax what is it? A Pentax K1000. It looks like this. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's so pretty. I've wanted a film camera for the longest time, and I would go to thrift stores a lot just to see what they had. But every time I bought one, there was always something wrong with the battery. It was either like the battery had decayed in the camera or was very rusty, and I just didn't know how to figure that out. But I've wanted a film camera for a very long time because I love the way film photos look, and I love the whole idea of setting and learning how to set photos and making sure that everything looks good. I love the process of film cameras, and I love the fact that you take a photo and you only get to see it months later. I love that. And so when I saw that this was for sale on secondhand for some US or something like that, I immediately jumped to buy it because it was such a good price for the camera and the tripod and this whole bag full of goodies. There's like an extra lens, there's a flash, everything. It was really inexpensive. And I was actually quite shocked at how inexpensive it was. So I didn't quite believe it until I was like, hey, can I have it? And this lady was like, yeah, sure. And she also admitted that she actually gave the wrong price, but it was too late. And so she gave me this camera. I'm so ready to just go out there and start taking photos and learn how to use this camera. I've never had a film camera. I've had a Fuji film camera, but I've never had one this beautiful or this great. So I'm really looking forward to just exploring this, and I'm looking forward to learning a new skill, because this will definitely be a new skill compared to just taking photos with my phone or with my camera. So I'm looking forward to this a lot. That's everything. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and comment and subscribe to my channel. I love making these videos because I like just looking back at all the things that I've enjoyed. Please comment down below which out of the 5 things was your favorite, or one of the 5 things that you are interested in checking out. Thank you. See you again later. Bye.